after Republicans in the Congress have voted to repeal the law 40 times. They still haven't given up on their message. After disastrous effort of shutting down the federal government, they didn't get the message. And I'm confident they're not going to get the message I'm about to deliver to them. But here's the message. We will not go back. We will not go back. America has turned a page.
Vice President Biden today on the health care law, Obamacare. Not going back, we've turned the page, but take a look at the latest polls out today. They are setting records, actually. New health care law, favorability at 36%, opposed 59%. And then you take a look at President Obama's handling of health care, the approval 38%, disapprove 59%. At the same time, you have Moody's downgrading the insurers. This is the quote from Moody's. The outlook for the U.S. healthcare insurance sector has been changed to negative from stable, largely as a result of regulatory and competitive pressures facing the sector, which will challenge earnings, margins, membership, and core administrative and medical management competencies. Most challenging to the credit profile of the U.S. healthcare insurers are the implementation of key provisions of the Affordable Care Act, and it goes into all of them. Let's bring in our special expanded panel tonight. Syndicated columnist George Will, Fox News senior political analyst Brit Hume, Elise Viebeck, staff writer for The Hill, and syndicated columnist Charles Krauthammer. Okay, George, you listen to the vice president there. They're ready for this fight. The numbers and the info seem to be going the other direction.
Well, that's right. I think Republicans wanted to say that we turned the page and there's only way to turn it back. Mr. Biden's been around here long enough to remember the similarity between what Obama's experiencing and Bill Clinton experiencing and the difference. In 1992, Bill Clinton campaigns saying health care, it was all vague generalities. People said good, and they elected him president. Then they saw the details, and in 1994, the Democrats lost the House for the first time in 40 years. In 2008, Mr. Obama campaigned on health care, saying you can keep your policy and we're going to lower the debt and it won't have any unpleasant effects. And people said, great. Then they saw the details and the Democrats lost 63 seats in 2010. The difference is that in 1994, that was the end of it for Clinton. He went on to do other things. Now, as the vice president says, it's here to stay, and people know just how to get rid of it.
Britt, what do you make of this Moody's downgrade in addition to all this other data that you would suggest is going negatively for Obamacare?
Well, it certainly suggests that a big part of the bargain that the administration struck with the health insurance industry is not working out, which it was that, you go along with this and we will provide you through the Obamacare exchanges a gusher of new clients and customers, and you will have therefore all the premium money that you need in order to pay these new benefits that you're going to have to provide and to pay to insure the uninsured and the rest of it. Well, that's not looking very good right now. And you also have, I believe, at your disposal some comments from the president of Aetna, who's saying as much, one of the major insurers.
Well, let's listen to him. He was with Liz Klayman, and take a listen.
Is the volume of the healthcare exchange sign up at least where you thought it might be? Is it lower, higher?
I think it's lower than everybody thought, in part because it struggled to get started. But it's really not about the website. It's really about whether or not the program's designed properly to encourage people to join.
Is it?
It's not. I think what we don't have is a system that is built for consumers. People don't want to go to healthcare.gov to shop.
On CNBC earlier in the week, he said, are they going to be double-digit increases? Are we going to get beat up because they're double-digit, or are we just going to have to pull out of the program? Those questions can't be answered until we see the population we have today, and we really don't have a good view on that.
Well, and it'll be a while before we know fully what the shape of these the new batch of insured is. So far, what we know is it looks like it's too old and too sick for this to work out for the insurance companies. And if it doesn't work out for the insurance companies, it doesn't work out and the program breaks down.
Elise.
Well, I think what's so important to remember is that the exchanges represent a very small portion of insurers' business this year. Really just 2 to 3% of revenue from major insurers is coming from the exchanges. So they pulled out, or rather stayed out, of these marketplaces in the initial year because they wanted to test the waters. And they say that this is a growth opportunity for them. Now, the CEO of Aetna is clearly a very important man, but he's not the only opinion. These insurers are delivering very upbeat messages to their investors. They're saying that this will benefit them in the long term, particularly when the individual mandate kicks in and those penalties come down on the heads of people who are otherwise looking at cheaper policies.
Charles, the White House will say, you know, just like Massachusetts, the young people will flow in when the deadline hits at the end of March.
Well, that's what they say. They've been giving us a lot of happy talk. When you get outside observers like Moody's, that isn't beholden, that doesn't have to pretend everything is okay, it says that the outlook is negative, and it explains exactly why. And it says that both insurers and providers are looking at possible insolvency. I love what they say about one of the reasons why it's so negative: an unstable and evolving regulatory environment. Evolving means that they wake up every Monday and the president has changed the rules. So they have no idea what's going on, and all of the rule changes have been to protect the president and the administration politically while actually undermining the financial stability of the markets. And they can see this. And the Aetna spokesman, the only one who will say it publicly, because I think they worry about being punished by opposing the government, which is now their master. They are utilities and servants of the government. And I wonder if Moody's is going to be faced with a lawsuit in the coming months, the way that S&P was slapped with a lawsuit after it downgraded the rating of the United States and got a slapping around by the Secretary of the Treasury and a veiled warning. So I'm not sure if the administration likes hearing the bad news, but it's news that has to be heard.
I want to put up another poll, number 3 here, George. Will health care law increase or decrease? And a list of possible things here. Your taxes, not even close there, 63% increase. And you take a look at the numbers as they line up. Federal deficit, the quality of care is the only one where people say 44% they believe it will decrease.
Well, the one tax, so-called because the Chief Justice says it's a tax, the penalty, they're just not going to pay probably. Or if they pay, they're not going to notice. This is what Moody says. The high premiums and high deductibles do not provide much incentive for those in this demographic group, the young, to sign up. And the penalty for not having health insurance during 2014 is minimal. The Chief Justice, when he said it's a tax on the act of not buying insurance, not a penalty, said it's a tax because it is and has to be too low to be coercive. If it's too low to be coercive, it's too low to get people to buy the insurance.
Before we go to break, Britt, what do Republicans do in this atmosphere? I mean, are they at these meetings and after the State of the Union coming up with an alternative, or are they going to wait until this implodes and wait and see?
That's a very big question for the Republicans, and one position they could take is, look, the first thing we're going to try to do is ameliorate the harm that is being done by this program, and then we will worry about reconstructing the whole system, as President Obama has tried to do, if that's even then seems to be a good idea. My guess is they don't have to have a full-blown substitute for this massive reshaping of our health insurance system.
More on this, plus the Medicaid death debt. We'll explain that with the Fantastic Four here when we come back.